Right, we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you guys didn't go anywhere and you hung out there while we were having some technical difficulties, but we've got stuff figured out now and we are back. So I'm not sure how much of my... Hopefully, one sec. You guys didn't go anywhere and you hung out there while we were having some technical... Sorry about that. That's my own little internal feedback loop I have going on here. Hopefully you guys heard most of my story that I shared there in a little bit, and because of time constraints, I can't go back over the whole thing. But just to make a long story short, you know, I struggled a lot before I came to Empower Network and found this business model and found Dave Wood and his massive vision for truly helping affiliates win in this marketplace, which at that time, 5 years ago, was a novelty, right? Nobody thought the way Dave Wood thought. Nobody looked at business and online marketing the way Dave Wood figured out the way to do it so that everybody could actually succeed. And that's exactly what happened. And I immediately locked onto that vision when I saw it. And here I am 4 years later, $500,000 in commissions later. I've got a business that I can literally run from anywhere, from any place in the world, literally, because that's what my family and I do is we travel constantly. We're always, you know, planning the next vacation. We're usually not home for more than maybe a month and a half before we're going somewhere else. And my business just goes with me. And it's a lifestyle that most people only dream of. Here at Empower Network, you can actually create that and pay very close attention to what we talk about tonight, because we're going to paint out the picture of how we're going to make that even better and even easier for you to achieve that. So without any further delay, I want to introduce my buddy Michael Martin, my partner in building a team here at Empower Network. A really close friend of mine. Michael, go ahead and take it away and share some of your story.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. This is crazy. I hope I'm not too choppy. I was just switching networks. We, you know, you guys went through a little bit of a delay and we apologize for that. And it's kind of wild because as soon as they're like, Michael, all right, we're going to kick this thing off. Are you ready? And I'm sitting here just doing this. There's no audio. But anyway, so I had to reset my computer. I'm ready to go now, guys. But just welcome to tonight. My name is Michael Martin. I'm coming at you from Cartersville, Georgia. I will not say Atlanta anymore because everybody in my house right now that's visiting with me is making fun of me about how far my house is from Atlanta. So, but it's awesome to be here, and just I'm super excited about what's going down tonight. If some of you know my story, some of you may not, but I started here in Empower Network roughly about 4 years ago. And when I started here with zero know-how on how to do this type of business, you know, online business, doing the whole, you know, getting leads and getting sales and things like that. And there are pieces of it that I'm still not great at, but we've still been able, even though not being able to do everything perfectly or not being great at all points in our business, we've still been able to create a pretty significant income here. And we're just super excited about that. And some of the stuff you're going to learn about tonight are parts of the business that you may not be great at. They may be there's obviously something that's not my strong suit. And you're going to actually find out tonight some things that Dave's been working on behind the scenes that's going to actually help you tremendously in your business if you get focused, if you get consistent in your business, okay? It's really going to help you a lot. And I don't want to like just blurt it out yet, even though I want to, because I'm going to let David share that stuff with you. But I just want to let you know we're here as leaders here in the company. We're super excited about what's going down. I've also got some other people here in my house that you might know if you've been around Empower for a while. I'm just going to go ahead and pass my desk chair to one of them who's sitting right here. So maybe you guys know this guy.
What's going on, peeps? What's up, guys? How you guys doing? I was creeping on the couch next to him. I'm like, man, that couch is a welcome to any entrepreneur who busts their butt, right? But have you earned it? You know what I mean? So if you don't know me, my name is Lawrence Tam. I am the token Asian dude who left his job and is no longer working a corporate gig. Engineer since, I don't know, like 11 years of experience. And that was going to a road to nowhere. Nowhere, you know what I mean? We were stuck in traffic coming out to Michael Martin's crib, and it was like an hour and a half or two, and I'm like, man, I really dislike traffic. Now, it's awesome that Michael was driving. But outside of that, I don't know how people do that anymore, right? Being able to work from home, yeah, that's just crazy. Can't do it. Can't do it. You know, so what I'm going to say is this. Number one, I know I am totally motivated by pain versus pleasure, and the pain of having to fight traffic hour and a half to 2 each way is enough for me to go, I'm going to figure how to do blogging. I'm going to figure out how to implement Empower Networks methods of operations to building my own business from the comfort of my home. And I'm just grateful, and that's the reason why I'm here. It's a Monday. Today's Monday?
We're having a party.
Yeah, today is Monday. And that's the crazy thing, right? Because, like, how many people do you know when you ask them what today is, and they're like, oh, it's Tuesday, it's Sunday, it's the 14th. I don't have a flipping clue because every day is the same day for me. It's like a Saturday or Tuesday. It doesn't really matter because we kind of just do whatever we want to. And I think people want to buy freedom. Really, I just want to buy time on my schedule. You know what I mean? And we'll show you how to do that because my business, I have not been home since, how long have we been gone? We've been gone for like 5 days, 6 days. Sorry, if I'm looking up this way, it's not like I'm like thinking. There's actually a sweet Asian lady right here who turned 40 yesterday. The big 4-0, we took her to Vegas, partied it up, and my voice is thrown out a little bit. I usually don't sound this sexy. But you know what? I caught a flight at 1 a.m., and I'm like, instead of going home, we came here to the Cartersville, Georgia. Welcome to Cartersville. You know what I mean? It's just so awesome. Like, my daughter's like, you're in Georgia now? I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's just how we do it, hanging out with friends, because we have these systems that we have in play. And you're going to find something pretty dang awesome that we will be telling you. Not like in the future. Like, we're actually going to be telling you something tonight that you can implement for your business that will put more money into your pocket. Something I learned over the weekend was progress is perfection. And I think a lot of times people want to be perfect. You have to have, you know, the greatest backdrop, or have to have the green screen. You got to have your hair done the right way. You got to have that HD camera. You got to have everything working. Well, obviously technology will poo-poo on your party all day long, right? So don't worry about that. But progress is perfection. And I feel like if everyone here who's brand new, everyone here who's been in for a couple of years, or like myself, I've been here since the beginning, no matter where you are, be a student and continue to learn from great teachers like Will Wood, David Wood, Michael Martin, John Oakes, right? Tracy Walker, we'll be bringing on. If you can do me a favor, bring on Tracy Walker. We're just here, 3 leadership people live on site. John hanging out in the nice Wet and Wild area of Seattle area. You know what? Portlandia. I gotta remember Portlandia. All the nice people in Portlandia, right? But you know what? It's the ability to make those choices, and once you make that choice that you will be better today than you were yesterday, that's how you get better, right? And if you just look at the way we've set up our systems, we've gone from an idea, a legitimate idea, transitioned it to having over a dozen, 13, 14, 15 commissionable millionaires, not gross team sales, physical money in your bank account. This is the numbers we've done. Now, income disclaimer, results will vary, but I've talked to people in other companies, other business models, and I asked them, what kind of business do you have to run volume-wise to make like $100,000 or $1 million? Because if you're in business, you're gonna make some money. And it's a ridiculous, like they make like 6% of what they bring in. Like they generate $100,000 in sales and they make $6,000. That's not what we do here. We're here for freedom. We're gonna teach you how to do what we do. We're gonna teach you as a customer how you can set up your systems just like how we set up our businesses as an affiliate, or you can actually just retail what we do to small business owners, entrepreneurs, or people who want to get into that game. So I want to introduce another leadership mastermind member, another $1 million earner, the #1 female income earner, the one I've copied a ton from, just FYI. I think they were saying if you're not emulating and copying people, it's because you're not actually looking at your competition enough. Not that saying Tracy is my competition, but when someone actually does something better in your category or in your industry or your profession, you'd be silly not to like mimic or at least look at their ad copy. You know what I mean? So I want to introduce someone who I totally truly respect, someone who is a fantastic role model for women, men, human beings. And if you're looking to build a business, she builds it the real way. Baby Josiah in here eating some pizza, and she just drove in. It's like, let's do this thing. So let me go ahead and put Tracy Walker on the hot seat, my girl from Atlanta.
Oh, this is the trade-off. Oh, I gave you a hug. All right, guys. So I've got Josiah here, and Mike and Lawrence are gonna sit over here and monitor, make sure I say the right stuff. And my hair's a little crazy, but you know, it's 10 o'clock at night. All right. So I am so excited to be on. Good to see you, John, and Dave, and everybody else. So listen, guys, this is a very, very, very special night. For one, we're all together, right? I mean, and virtually we've got Vanessa and John and Dave as well. But I'm super excited because there's so many wonderful things that's taking place here at Empower Network. And I know a lot of times people may look and ask and wonder, say, well, Trace, you know, why are you even still at Empower Network? What's going on? Are you guys still making money? Are things still working? And, you know, let me just share something with you. When I first got started with Empower Network, I got started because I knew David, right? This was way before the systems worked. When we've told these stories quite a few times, but the systems didn't work at the very, very beginning, you know, in 2011 when we first started. The site wasn't up, the blog wasn't completely working. You guys may have heard Dave talk quite a few times about the merchant accounts being shut down and all these crazy, weird, drastic things in our startup phase. And I got started because I knew David, and I knew his heart, and I knew his vision from the very, very beginning. And so when you look around and you see certain people still hanging out with us, it's because Empower, for most of us, and especially me, I'll speak for myself mainly, it's more than just a business, right? Empower Network it's truly a movement. It is something that is designed for the entrepreneur. And whether you're beginning, whether you're intermediate, whether you are more of a veteran as well, this is a place where you can come, you can learn, you can integrate, you can build your own stuff, you can use Empower Network stuff. You've got tools, you've got systems, you've got education, you got training, you got all these different things. You've got people, you've got success stories, you've got results, and you have a leader with a heart and a vision. And so when they ask, like, well, Trace, why are you still at Empower Network? It's because of all those things together. I believe in the vision of Dave, and I always have. I believe in our leadership, our legacy mastermind. And I just overall believe that the heart of what we're doing as heart-centered entrepreneurs is just in the right place. And could you do something else super, super fast and make a whole bunch of money? Maybe you could. And is it possible that you're out of business in 12 to 24 months? More than likely, yes. Right. But we're 5 years old now, right? We've sustained some of the trials and tribulations, things that most companies never get through. And I don't think any company has been through what Empower Network has been through. I just don't even know how we even made it. I would say we've always been anointed, right? Our company, our people have literally been anointed in the crazy things that we've experienced. And when they put the Empower Network movie together, I just pray they pick somebody that plays me that knows what they're doing. But anyway, so that's why I'm here. I'm here because I believe in a vision. I love Dave. He works super hard behind the scenes to make sure that our company is rocking, it's rolling, it's still building momentum, and that we still have wonderful products that are of value in the marketplace, and the trainings and materials that we provide are useful and valuable to our customers. And so that's why I'm here. You know, there's also some things that I really am excited about that's coming that we've never really had before. And as an entrepreneur, especially building on the internet, you guys know that that there's some points in your sales process that if you had a little help in getting some things squared away, if you had someone to kind of help get you through some processes and help you make more sales, those types of things, I know that a lot of you guys would be or would feel like you'll be able to make a lot more money if you didn't have to do certain things. And so there's some things that's coming down the pipeline now. I'm sorry, Josiah's over here playing with one of the Martin's dogs. They have like 3 dogs. You have like 3 dogs. And they're like stair step levels. Like you have a little bitty one, he's like a middle one, and they have like this big Doberman. It's a Doberman, right? It's like a Doberman. He's like taller than Josiah, right? He's just running around playing with the dog with a slice of pizza. But if you had some things in place that you could take off of your plate so that you could focus on the marketing and the list building, and you had other things in place that could help you close the deals and close the sales, I think a lot of you guys would actually feel like you would be able to make a lot more money. And so there's some things that's coming that are more in alignment with that. I'm truly thrilled to be able to experience and have in place for so many people, new people and old people alike. And so that's going to be something that's exciting and thrilling. And what are you saying, Pumpkin? Say hi to Dave. Say hi, Dave.
Hi.
What are you eating, Josiah?
Pizza.
Eating pizza?
Mm-hmm.
And who is here? Did you see Bonnie and Tara?
Mm-hmm.
And are they playing with you?
Yeah.
And what about Tyler?
Tyler.
Yeah. Tyler, guys, is Michael and Chrissy's son. He's 16, and he was showing Josiah how to play the guitar a little bit ago. So he's in the band now, right? In Tyler's room. He's a part of the band. So they've been doing that. So yeah, guys, I'm just excited. And you might not see too much of me moving around and things like that because there's so many other little moving parts that go into building your business and sustaining your business and things of that sort. But Empower Network is my home. Empower Network, I love. Empower Network is gonna be the only last company that I do in terms of like network marketing or anything like that, right? I'm gonna roll with Empower Network until the wheels fall off, as people say. And that's that. So I just think that if you're watching this, you are definitely in the right place at the right time. And more importantly for me, you're around the right group of people. There's so many people that can get you started in a business and leave you hanging, and you think that you're going to be able to be long-term and have leadership and have mentorship and have guidance and this and that. And then you find out that you really don't have that. And what I know for a fact is that here at Empower Network, we do have all of those things. So you get your technical things, you get your business in a box, so to speak, but then you get the people and the expertise and the training and all the education behind it. And it's a journey. Bless you. Are you spitting all the pizza everywhere? It's definitely a journey. And so I'm excited to be on the journey with you, Dave, and the rest of the Leadership Mastermind. And I'm going to turn it back over to you. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. Hopefully I touched everything.
Oh, I think it's fine. I mean, we're getting started right on time here as always. And I feel happy about that. And I mentioned in the comments, Tracy, the best thing about this hangout is actually your amazing new hair. When I was actually thinking about that, when Tam was talking, I was like, I just want to copy Tracy's hair. So if you see giant dreadlocks in like a week, they're not extensions. I just grew my hair really fast. No, it's just great to see you, and you look happy, and I'm happy to be here with you. So.
Thank you. I am. Yeah. For a while, these the dreads were aggravating me, and they were sore. They were hurting my head. I almost took them out. But I was able to withstand it. So now they're cool. I can pull them up in a ponytail and do some funky things with it. It's easy in the morning. So that's it. So I'm so excited. I'm glad we were all able to come over and hang out with Mike and Chrissy, and we saw the baby's room and all those wonderful things, and just really growing as a family, and building something together that we can all look back and say, hey guys, remember when this took place, right? And we overcame that, and look how well things are going now. Josiah's touching the screen, David, because you went away. You have to stay on with him. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. I wouldn't be anywhere else than here with Empower Network. And so that's that. So I'm turning it back over to you, bro.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. I almost feel like heading over to your house party, but it's like more than a 20-minute flight over there.
Yeah. Not that convenient for you.
It's cool. You guys are all out there hanging out with the babies. And Chrissy's going to have a new baby. We've like grown old together now. I feel ancient, Jessica, damn, I thought you were like 30, And so that's like, I don't know, that's like some sort of Asian peak or something like that to stay young forever, but congratulations.
He's talking about Jessica.
Good to see you guys. So I'm going to jump right into things. Thanks for coming out, guys, and I'll probably bring you out a little bit later on. I'm going to keep this actually relatively brief tonight just because we did get started late. I think that I'm just going to do normal hangouts from now on and not try to get fancy because like something always happens with this stuff. Today it was working, and then I had all this stuff on and my equipment shorted out some electricity in my house, and then that hit one of those devices over there, and then they couldn't get it working again. So it's like, but it's all fun and good. So let me talk about, here's actually what I want to spend some time talking about today, is I want to talk about how to multiply your income. And I'm going to talk about this from a couple of different sets of backgrounds. And I'm going to talk about this again at the end, but I want to talk about it for a few minutes, really specific. Then I'm going to bring out a special guest and introduce you to somebody new here on the Empower Network corporate team. It's actually working with me and Rob, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But what I want to do is I want to paint out how to multiply your income and how to construct incomes in this business. Now, this actually will apply to Empower Network. It'll also apply to anything else that you do. And of course, I like doing what we're doing, and it's more than just a business to me. It's also a mission. And when Tracy's talking about that, it's like we've overcome things nobody else has overcome. It's not because those things wouldn't happen. It's just because normally people go out of business with like the first thing. You know what I mean? And then after that, if they don't go out of business with that thing, they usually go out of business with the third thing. And then they usually go out of business with the 50th thing if they don't go out with the first, right? And so with us, it's like we've overcame everything. And a lot of stuff you guys won't even believe, right? One of these days, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to tell all these stories, and they are so weird you would not even believe them. But they're things that you would never experience if you hadn't worked with 400,000 people and you hadn't done business in like 200 countries. And it's just things that you just, like a problem a normal business owner or affiliate would never know existed. But we're here for the long haul. I'm here for you. And I'm here because I like to be here. It's not like I couldn't do something else, And a lot of times I think people look at that a little bit differently. When I started Empower, I didn't need it. I was just doing it because I wanted to do it. I was already I had like a $40,000 a month income that was like rock solid. I didn't even need to work, right? And I'd had it for a long time. Then what happened was I wanted to do something to empower people and to really transform them. And I still actually nearly every day spend time building my own dreams and visions and imagining things, sometimes alone, sometimes with other people, sometimes with staff, sometimes with the leaders. And I'm sitting here dreaming of things. And the reason I am is because I really want to do for you what Empower Network was created to do for you. And to do that, sometimes we need to build new things. Sometimes we need to enhance things. Sometimes we need to simplify things. But we're not a fixed organism. We're something that grows and we change. And so like I was thinking when Tracy was saying, I'll be here till the wheels fall off. Well, what you don't know is Empower Network is actually a transformer. And if the wheels fell off, it would just transform into a helicopter and fly out. So you'd just be fine with no wheels. So anyways, I'm rambling a little bit, but let me talk about how to grow income, okay? And so I've talked about this a handful of times. And this is one of the reasons why we did a promotion for this. This is part one of a two-part series. And this bit is really designed and targeted more at people that have been in Empower or in Empower Network already, our existing affiliates here. And then we actually have another one that's coming out next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And that one's going to be more for new members that are coming in. So if you're seeing this, it means you've probably been in Empower Network. Maybe you were invited and you're not in. If you're not in, that's perfectly fine. We'll have a join link down there and you can get in. Here this week, you can still be a part of what we're doing in this pre-release phase. But you've been around the block. You've seen us and you've seen things come and go, and we're just still here. Amazing. And we're like the only ones still here. So anyways, let me talk about income and how to create income, because understanding this is useful. And if you understand a few simple concepts, you can kind of free your mind from the matrix. And what I mean by the matrix is not necessarily something bad if that's what someone wants. What I mean is there's a bunch of people in society, they don't want to live the way that society wants them to live. They want to live in their own way, right? They want to build their own dreams. But society kind of puts us all into a box and wants it to be more square, and that square tends to look like a cubicle, right? And so when I was a kid, I remember this started when I was like 8 years old, right? I've always been like this, in case you guys, I've always been weird like this. And so when I was a kid, right, I was living in Alaska. I remember going to school, and I was getting interviewed by a counselor this is like in elementary school. I was 8 years old. And they're like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, do for what? Like for fun? And they're like, no, for work. And I was like, well, I definitely don't want to do what you do for work. And he was like, hey, why is that? He was actually a little offended. He was this dude. And I was like, well, this just seems like the most boring thing ever. You're talking to an 8-year-old about what he wants to do for a living. I just want to go to recess, right? And he's like, well, when you're older, how are you going to support a family? I was like, I don't know. What I want to do is be rich, free, and live on the beach, right? Really. And I was like 8, right? So I've always been like this. It's not something that like somebody convinced me into. I've always been different, right? And I think a lot of you on here, you relate to that. Maybe you weren't that weird, right? I was always the one drawing like Spider-Man comics on the wooden desk in my room. And then they, of course, make me stay in at recess and clean it off, however you clean ink off the desk. But I've always been different and wanted to do different things, right? Well, so when it came to making money when I was adult, I figured out that, at first it was a lot harder than I thought. And then after a while, after I learned these things, it became a lot easier than I ever thought it could be. And it's going to be a lot easier after this week. So let me give you some basic things, okay? So if you're an entrepreneur or if you want to make a lot of money, right? So I'm going to put an E versus, we'll put an E versus E, right? Entrepreneur versus employee. This is not the right color of marker, so I'm going to switch to purple. Maybe this is the right color. So hold on a second. There we go. All right, so we got entrepreneur and we've got an employee down here. We'll say employee to make sense. Now this is okay because some people want to be employees, okay? So I just want you to think a little bit differently. Then I'm going to map out like how to just grow a business and grow an income like crazy. And then I'm going to introduce some stuff that we're actually going to be releasing this week and also next week that are going to start processes that are just going to multiply all of your incomes like crazy to a part of the community, right? So first of all, you have like an employee and you have entrepreneurs. Now in entrepreneurs, there's different kinds, right? You have like somebody who's like more self-employed, right? And this is more like an employee that instead of working for a company, they work for clients, right? But really their income is still tied to what they do. And that would be like somebody who is like a lawyer, who's like a normal lawyer, right? Who sees clients one-on-one, gets paid per hour, or it'd be like an electrician who works on a contract basis, who does jobs when he has jobs, and when he doesn't get paid, right? It's like somebody who basically needs to provide service to make money. It's a one-on-one coach, right? There could be higher level paid self-employed people. There could be lower paid self-employed people, but it's still a self-employed person. Your income is actually tied to what you do. And then you have an employee. An employee as well are going to be an hourly wage. It's going to be a salary. It's going to be a sales position where you're earning money for time that you're putting in and what you're actually doing, if that makes sense, right? And neither one of these things is bad, right? Because there's people who want to do that and they want to be in a good company, and there's great companies. It empowers a good company, and it's just a different way, right? And so within this, though, in addition to being self-employed, there's also more of like a small business owner, right? And a small business owner, SBO is probably not the best initials for that. We'll just keep it. Is somebody that's going to have maybe a couple of employees, and they're going to run a service, and they're going to have employees fulfilling the service. And maybe it's a little bit bigger than what you could do as a self-employed person doing everything yourself. The problem that a lot of entrepreneurs run into when they try to transition even to a small business owner is they have a hard time letting go of control of the different parts of their business. And I actually struggle with that too. I think everybody struggles with that who's an entrepreneur. But eventually you get to a point where there's just so much to do that you can't grow if you don't let go of control. You have to let go of the control and bring other people in and pay them for things that you shouldn't be doing, because you should be graduating to things that cost more money if you want to grow as a business owner, if that makes sense. You should only be investing your time into things that are going to pay you a return that you're worth, right? So if you want to make $200,000 a year and you're doing tasks that would cost $5 an hour to outsource, it makes sense to outsource those tasks, to bring in somebody, maybe even pay them $10 an hour and get a really good one, so you can free up your time and do things that are higher leverage. Does that make sense? So you have like in this, you have a small business owner, and then you have a big business owner, right? And this probably is not the right initials for this. I'm just kind of explaining concepts that are in my head. Now, big business owner, this is kind of what you do, and you have to kind of transition as you go along between these. And the reason you usually have to transition is because usually you start as a self-employed person or you start as an entrepreneur without tons of money and resources, right? So you kind of have to do everything yourself. And because of that, it takes a long time to move through phases of business because you're doing everything yourself. A lot of the things that you do, they just won't pay you that much. And so you want to make $100,000 a year, but you find most of your time consumed with $10 an hour things, but you don't have $10 an hour extra to pay somebody to do those things, right? And so then eventually you make more money, you graduate and start hiring people. Then a big business owner, they make a lot of money by doing a few things. First of all, what they do is they leverage teams, right? And what I mean by that is there's different kinds of time leverage when people are talking about leverage. And you can think about this in a lot of ways, but I'm going to paint out a couple of simple ones. But there's, first of all, leveraging people, which is actually leveraging the time of other human beings, okay? And so if I have 5 people and they're all working 40 hours a week, 5 times 40 equals 200 hours, plus whatever hours I put in. Now all of a sudden I'm putting in the same 40 hours a week, but I have, 250 hours a week put into my business, right? You're leveraging the time of a connected group of people working together, right? So that's one form of leverage. Another thing that you can do is you can leverage systems, right? Now, systems thinking is not something that a normal mind is very good at understanding for a very long time. It took me forever to really understand what systems were. Because when I thought of systems, I thought of technology systems. I thought about like something like when I was in Amway and they told me to do the 8 core commitments. You know, I didn't really understand what a system was. But what a system is it's a series of processes, people, teams, a technology. It's something that works in an interconnected way to produce a result rather than you working to produce that result. So anything can actually be a system, all right? So leveraging systems, leveraging teams, and then leveraging money, these are the 3 things of big business entrepreneurs. And because if you do these things, each one of these things can eventually disconnect the hours that you put in from the result that you're getting. And so you're putting in less work, less time, and making way more money because of the interconnected group of systems that are leveraging your money, leveraging your teams, right? And leveraging technology systems and other kinds of systems to produce the result that you want. Now, in thinking about making money, right, and I'm not going to talk about employees here because employees are people that want to work for a company. And maybe one group of employees wants to work for a company for 10 years, graduate to self-employed, graduate to a small business owner, and build their own business. That's fine too, right? But they're different kinds of working, if that makes sense. And everybody fits somewhere unique depending on what's in your mind. Now, the problem is getting somebody who is in a mindset here of an employee to transition to somebody who is going to be more like a small business owner and then a big business owner is not very easy. It takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of time usually for people to understand how to do. The reason is they're used to working for that. They're not used to owning that. And it's a totally different mindset. For example, one of the problems that we run into in our kind of space is like this. It's a really simple problem actually. And the problem is that we are used to this. We're used to putting in a certain amount of time. And when we put in, say, the time we put in times 40 hours, right? And we're getting paid $10 an hour. That means that week we made $400, right? And whatever your hourly wage is, you just multiply the hours by that wage, and that's how much money you make. Now that's a normal kind of a job. And so the goal of an employee to make more money, you would either want to get paid more per hour, right? You'd want to get paid commission and then produce more. That'd be another option if you're like a salesperson, right? One of those 2 things, right? Or put in more hours. That's the only ways you can make more money, really, right? Does it make sense? To increase your income, you have to do those things, right? So people will build a career path to be able to do that over a period of years, right? Well, when you're an entrepreneur, maybe you put in 40 hours, right? And then there's no hour multiplier. There's none, right? So how many hours you work has nothing to do with how much money you make as an entrepreneur. Nothing, right? Maybe you're going to make money and maybe you won't. It depends on how much revenue you're generating that's profitable. And that's a totally different thing, right? Getting people to switch from a brain of an employee to learning that and being okay with it and then being good at it is different. But also getting somebody to switch from being a self-employed mind to an entrepreneur mind is a little bit different because a self-employed mind is really more like a commission salesperson than it is like an entrepreneur, right? And you have your own business, you work for yourself, but you're still doing the same thing that you were doing as an employee, only now you call it something different, but probably actually work more than you did before, all right? And so to transition out of that, what you've got to do is you've got to learn how to make money. Now, this is the way I think about it, which is a little bit of a weird way, but it's getting into the purpose of tonight, okay? So if you're going to make money, how is it that you actually make money? It's really simple. You create money from a value exchange. In other words, you have value of some kind. You give that value to the end consumer, right? And then in exchange for that value, the consumer, they give you some amount of money for the value that you're exchanging, right? So in other words, you get a customer. That's the only real way that money flows around in the marketplace. Whether you're trading in gold and silver coins or dollars or the Japanese yen, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Somebody has resources, you have value, you give them the value, they give you the resources in exchange. Basic principles of free enterprise, right? This is things that are useful to know, right? So if this doesn't happen, you make no money, right? So now here's the thing that's interesting, and this is what I started thinking about years ago, because I started thinking about what I had been doing, which I had been thinking along the lines of I'm going to sell something and get paid, because it's what I was used to and the only thing I'd ever really made money in. And I started thinking, how can I actually make money? Well, there's options, right? So I'm going to, oh, you can see this little whiteboard, right? So the option number one is going to be like this. This is a way that you can make money, right? You can deliver a service and somebody can pay you for that service. So option number one is a service you can deliver, which is useful, right? We teach people how to be coaches because it's a useful service. It's a high-paid service. It's a way of having more time leverage. You can make more money at once. In our products, we do that. We have systems to do that. Tracy does that, right? It's useful, right? Number two way you could do it is you could sell a product, right? So within the product spectrum, though, there's actually lots of subspectrums. And what I mean by it is this, right? You could do something, for example, where you sell a product and you earn a one-time commission, right? That's something you could do. You could sell something where you earn a residual commission as well, right? And you could do something where you work with a few big clients, right? You could do something where you have lots of little clients. You could do something where you leverage yourself through other salespeople. In other words, there's lots of things you could do. Now, the powerful thing I've always liked about the model of internet marketing combined with network marketing is that you can get clients who get clients, and that produces leverage through other people, even if you don't know how it works. So in other words, if you're bringing people in who are bringing people in, it can turn into an army of people, right? And you didn't actually, like, you're not actually making all of the sales, you're just making money from all of it, which is super useful. But like Lawrence was saying, normally they're really low paid, right? But on a field of what's better out of these different ways of making money? The answer is none. The answer is all of them are good. And you want to make money as many ways as you possibly can. That's what being an entrepreneur is all about. As long as there's a value exchange, it's useful. But now here's the thing, and this is what I really, really, really learned, and this is what really radically changed my income. Before Empower Network existed, this is around 2011, and I had another radical change in 2013. I'm going to tell you why. Is I learned something. I learned that, number one, I could sell the product and make money. But another thing I could do is I could leverage a system. The system could sell the product and I could make money. Another thing I could do is I could have a downline sell the product and I could make money. And another thing I could do, I could have a salesperson sell the product and I could make money. And therefore, I'm making money from what this giant group of leveraged people and systems are doing, not just myself. So if I want to build a business as a process, as a thinking tool, what I want to do is I actually want to build a business that has as many income sources as I possibly can. Okay, and therefore the best way to do that is to leverage as many systems as possible and to create sales from as many sources as possible within an interconnected framework that fits together congruently. As long as it works together congruently and it gives value, it makes sense. Now, some things they don't work together congruently and people pretend they do to make a commission. Totally different. Because I want customers to pay me for the rest of their life, and I want them to live a long time, and to help them live a long time, I can't just take all their money, I gotta help them stay alive, right? So I want that person to succeed and to win in their life. Does that make sense? All right, so let's go back into different things that we've done over the years and things that have worked. So what happened in 2009, 2011, and then 2013, and then now? Let's talk about all of it, right? Well, in 2009, what I learned to do is I learned to replace going out there and prospecting all the time. Prospecting is not bad, but I don't want to do it. I don't want my life to be wandering around finding prospects because I'm actually good at selling. And if a salesperson isn't in front of good prospects, they end up wasting their time because usually people that are good at creating prospects, right, they're not the same as the people that are good at presenting and closing. It's two different kinds of skills, okay, as you're going to learn. So 2009, what I learned how to leverage blogging right? And systems in order to generate targeted traffic so I could always be in front of the right people. This is a long discussion. We teach you how to do this. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff over the next bit to teach you how to do it. But this is what I learned in 2009, which made it so I didn't have to wander around in shopping calls. I didn't need to chase anybody because I learned to leverage systems and blogging, very simple, and social media to pull people to me, so I was never chasing anybody ever, right? And I don't think it's bad to talk to people. I talked to people for years, right? I still talk to people who come in, and I just don't want to chase them. Does that make sense? So I learned to do this, and this learned to attract people to me, and I was building all low ticket residual income, right? I mean, I was so resistant to selling expensive stuff when I got started. It was ridiculous, right? It took me a long time of getting battered over the head with like people who were making money easily by selling more expensive stuff to just be like, is this really useful thinking? And then I challenged it, and when I challenged it, I found that it wasn't useful. So I did this. Now, just learning to leverage systems, what did it do? It made it so rather than talking to like 2 people a day, I had like 50 to 100 people a day going into a funnel that was working on its own, and I was only working personally with the people that were coming through that funnel who were really qualified, and that's the people I was selling. And therefore, I went from like a 5% close rate to like a 99% close rate. In fact, one time I remember I went 2 months, 5 appointments a day, nobody said no, and then finally at the end of 2 months, somebody's credit card didn't go through. And I was bringing people in at a $500 buy-in point 4 times a day, 2 months straight, right? And I could do that kind of thing. I know how to do that, right? And so that was, I was doing low ticket residual income, low buy-in, it was about $500 entry point, and I was doing closing. So I was closing, right? And that's actually how I ran my business, right? And I had no high ticket stuff. So 2011 comes around, I had a couple of breakthroughs. First thing is, you know, I met somebody and they were like, dude, you should have some high ticket thing. And finally I was like, I'm gonna try it, right? I wanna try it. And this is actually the way it was presented to me. So let me explain to you the difference between, now I'm not talking about crap high ticket, it's just there to get a commission. I'm talking about good stuff, right? So let me explain it like this. Let's say you want to make $10,000 a month. And this is actually how this dude explained it. And when he explained it, I was like, you know what? I might as well try it out and see if people want to buy it. And I like went out and my income jumped from 40 grand a month to 100 grand a month just by adding this. Now, then I learned something else in 2013, and this is where it gets hot dog nasty. But so let me talk about the difference between low ticket only and high ticket. Well, the problem with most high ticket, they have no residual income. And for me, of the 2, I like residual income better. But it doesn't mean I don't want high ticket income. It just means that I don't want to sacrifice my residual income for high ticket income only, because a lot of things high ticket people say, they're not really true. Like they say, well, you know, I'm going to get 1 customer to pay me this, and 1 low ticket customer would take 10 years to pay me that. And I'm like, yeah, but one of my low ticket customers might bring in $10 million in sales of other low ticket customers just because I mentored them. So, I mean, you can't really compare that. I want both. Does it make sense? It's like, would you rather just have your cake, or would you rather have it and eat it too? Well, there's that saying that says you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I've never actually had a time when I've had a cake and not eaten it. So I actually don't know where people come up with that saying. So anyways, high ticket is like this, all right? So let's say your goal is to make $10,000 per month. Let's break it down in a couple of different ways, right? This is the goal, this is the outcome, okay? So there's different ways of doing it. One way, so we've got method number 1, is the low ticket way. So let's say all you have to earn that is residual income, which we have residual income here. It's leveraged, it could get really big. Well, what's gonna happen, let's say each customer is generating $100 a month for you, right? What's gonna happen here is you're gonna be going out there, and in order to produce $10,000 a month off only this, off the long-term residuals, you need a minimum of 100 customers. But normally in network marketing, what happens is you get paid a lot less percentages as it goes down. So it actually takes a lot more than 100. Usually people making $10,000 a month, they have like 5,000 people in the organization. Ask Lawrence, these guys, they don't know. Now that's not how it works here, but it's normal, okay? And so if you take a look at this, you need 100 different people to make 10,000. Now the cool thing is once you have it, it's pretty stable because there's lots of people. Does it make sense? You have lots of people, it's stable, it's there next month, it's relatively stable for a long time if you build it right. So that is useful, but it takes a long time to build it and way more people than most people could imagine. With us, it's way less and way more simple and easy, right? And so How about this though, right? Now this is what the guy explained. He says, all right, so let me break it down. Here's another way you could do it. Way number 2 is you could have 10 people give you $1,000 a month, right? Now, 10 people usually are not going to give you $1,000 per month unless you have some sort of service business providing services to companies, right? Because that's not a normal kind of income. But if you have 10 people giving you $1,000 in a month, only 10 people then produce the $10,000 a month. So it's a tenth of the people, and now you've got that same thing. But really, it's like 100th of the people in a normal network marketing company. But then he says, what about if option number 3, you just have 2 people who give you $5,000, right? So 2 people give you $5,000, and now you're at $10,000, right? And he says, I like option number 4 too, right? Option number 4 is if you had 1 person give you $10,000, right? Then all of a sudden, from 1 customer, you're making $10,000 a month. So you just need 1 customer per month. And he says, which would you prefer? And I said, you know what, I'm going to try and make all of them. So I went out there and I just tried to add it on, and I bolted on HighTicket, and it was like, bam, I just had like an extra $10,000 a month. Because I don't want to sacrifice the residual income that's there when I'm on vacations and stuff just to make HighTicket money. It's a silly philosophy, right? You want both, right? Have your cake, eat it too, just like the gurus do. I'm joking, they don't actually, but we get to. So in any case, right, I'm just making that up as we go along. So in any case, I found HighTicket to be useful, right? Now, the thing is, when you're doing this, is you have to have different kind of processes to sell things that are more expensive, right? It's going to be a different process for each one of these things, right? So what I did at first, of course, I was, you know, doing webinars and then closing, right? Because I want to help lots of people make guru kind of money, but without having to be a guru, but they can if they want, right? It's like, okay, if you want to progress to that, that's fine. But let me help you just go make $30,000, $50,000 a month, zero income disclosure. But you don't need to be Tony Robbins or Frank Kern or these guys, right? They're cool. Go, if you want to buy their stuff, right? I like them. But it's like, you don't have to do that. You can be the free person at the beach making money, right? Because that's the kind of business I built, is a freedom kind of business, right? I want people to be able to be free if they want. Does it make sense? Right. So in any case, here's what let me go over here so I can keep all this. So I can keep all of this on the board, okay? So I'm going to jump over here now, and no, I'm not going to do that for you. Right? So we got this model. Keep it in your brain. All right? So here's what I do. So we start the business, and then all of a sudden, I don't have time to talk to people anymore because we're bringing in too many people, and the company's getting too big, and then we do $100 million in sales. And so in 2013, we brought in a guy, and a lot of you guys know him, and a lot of you don't know too much about him, but his name's Rob Moe, right? Now, Rob actually, right now, he has his own company that does about $5 million a month. He's a really cool guy. Really cool guy. But he's the one who's helped us run all split tests, gets our list segmentation split off, and is like kind of like a genius brain of his own, right? And so what Rob did is he worked with us, and he started a sales team internally inside of our own position, which at the time we were making money without this. And I still, in my position, I've made money without this for a long, long, long time. And so to start the sales team, what we did is we started off and we brought in a guy named Kerry. I'm actually going to introduce you to Kerry tonight on this call. I'm going to talk about what's happening next week. And that'll happen in just a minute. I'll introduce you, okay? Now, we brought in these guys, and what this did, and check this out. I want you to talk about how cool this is. These guys added, and we never really finished scaling this out. It was like $50,000 to $80,000 a month in income to that affiliate position just from him. And it was like 3 or 4 people just working on our position, right? And that was just by having basically a process where somebody would come in, and then we would run them through a filtration process. And then what we'd do is we'd get them on the phone with a coach, right? But you can't just get people on the phone with anybody. You have to get people on the phone with people that can actually help them, right? Because the way that this works, it's a value exchange. Does that make sense? Because normally what happens when you've got people in, especially in high-ticket businesses, is they just want to take people's money, right? That's it. And I don't want to criticize it. It's just, I don't like doing that. I don't mind if people give me money, but there has to be a value exchange, at least an equivalent to the money they're giving. I don't feel good inside, right? It's like a values thing that I've got, which apparently I've learned is not totally normal in our space, right? And so I'm a little bit unique. And our team's unique too. They really care about people, right? And so basically, how did they do this? They did this by, all they did was they connected with people, and they had a really good sales process from an internal team and they'd get on the phone and they would close people. So what happened is I wanted to like push this, you know, and help people do it all across the company. We started to, and then we talked to the lawyer and they're like, you can't. I was like, well, why can't I, right? And he's like, well, there's a FTC rule rolled out and this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and he explained it, right? So I was like, crap, all right? Because it's like it would help people, and here's why. It's again, right? How do you make money? You make money by, number one, you can leverage money. Number two, you can leverage other people, which is what we learned to do in network marketing, right? Now, the cool thing is, in network marketing, you're leveraging other salespeople. What I mean by that is your team. So I'm just going to write team, right? Because we're going to differentiate them and not confuse you, right? So team, you're leveraging them. And then you're leveraging also the company and the processes and systems of the company. And so the company also has employees who are here to help. And so if you think about it right, these employees here they're here to serve you, just like if you own the company. Now, it doesn't mean you can boss them around if you try, right? They'll probably not talk to you anymore. You're not there to boss them. They're there to help in their job, right? And so, but you're leveraging the company, you're leveraging the employees, and you're leveraging our processes and systems. And some of it's so complicated you wouldn't even believe it. Like you wouldn't even believe like the complexity of doing some stuff that seems very simple, but when you add 10,000 people to it, it becomes not simple, and there's almost nobody that even knows how to do it, right? Things break down in different areas, and you gotta learn new things, right? Like for example, I remember the first time I needed to build a scalable system for a server infrastructure, and servers needed to like auto-replicate, like because we were getting too much traffic and it would implode one of them. And I was like, I didn't even know, like, anybody needed to do this, right? I was pretty ignorant as to technology when I first started the Power Network because I was just good at selling stuff, right? So he was like, you can't, right? And then it was like a year ago, one day I was on the phone. He's like, you can't do it because you can't promise people you're going to close sales for them. You can't use that and recruit. You can't recruit like that because of this particular law. And I was like, well, okay, we can't use that to recruit. And an idea popped in my head, but can we just do it? Like, he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, if people come in, can I just put the sales team there and have them do their thing and just make like a compliance rule where we can't promise people we're going to close their sales, right? And he was like, yeah, you could totally just do it. And I was like, ah, right? Like, I was like pulling my hair out like this. And that's actually why I have a bald spot, is that conversation. So in any case, right, this is something that we've been working on in the background. We've been working on our own volume here. And this is actually what we're going to do, is we're going to give you this process that we've been using, and we're just going to like filter people as they're coming in and connect them in with people that can help them through the buying process when it's broken, okay, on a company level. What it's going to do, it's going to add a whole bunch of volume, and for the people that are doing it in the right way, they're going to make a lot of money from it, from participating and leveraging our systems with us, if that makes sense. See our income disclosure, right? And there'll be like some announcements with things we can and can't say when we're, you know, recruiting and bringing people in. Like, we're not going to put sales videos out there that say we're going to have coaches close all your sales for you, because it's not a good thing to promise people anyways, because they need to participate. Does that make sense? And so in any case, but here's what we're going to do, is we're just going to add a sales team that actually Rob and Carrie are putting together. So what I want to do is I want to introduce you to that. And when's this going to start? Well, we're going to start scaling this on a small level and building it into the company actually next week, so the 12th, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to scale it over a smaller amount and then move processes like this over a bigger amount, okay? And we're going to do that with a combination of technology, what Rob does, what Carrie does, and what I do, okay? And so what I want to do is I want to introduce you to him, because those of you who are on this, here's what I want to give you the opportunity to do. I actually want to invite you in and give you an opportunity to get yourself positioned right this week with us, okay? And to participate in and upgrade through this process, okay, if you're not all in. And so we'll talk about that here in just a minute, but what I actually wanted to do, I heard feedback from somebody the other day. They said something like, Dave Wood's a one-man show. I'm like, where do they get that from? I don't think people understand all the people that go into all the things that we do. And so I actually want to introduce you guys to a lot of the people we have on corporate, a lot of people that we have on the team, a lot of people that we work with, and see how many people are involved in these processes. But today, I want to introduce you to Kerry. So hopefully he's still on because this is a little bit later than I thought. But Kerry, if you could unmute yourself, introduce yourself. He was actually the one. He was leading the sales team for our position. He's done millions of dollars in sales on the phone and is ultra freaking good. And so he's actually the person that I work with already, and he loves working with us for his own reasons. He could talk about it. But Kerry, if you could just introduce yourself, tell us about your background and the kind of sales you do. And I'll ask you some questions. I want to ask you some questions, go back and forth a little bit. And then, guys, I want you to stay on because at the end here, I'm going to show you what to do next and also show you what we're going to be doing next week that's going to help you with this process, how to start new people, how to keep it simple, things like this. So, Kerry, over to you.
All right. Dave, thanks for speaking on here. Getting a little feedback here. I think it's all right now, though. But anyway, yeah, thanks for having me on here. So basically, what my deal's been is over the last 15 years, I've actually been racing as a triathlete. And a lot of those years, I was racing as a professional, but I was also doing my own thing on the side because in my sport, there isn't a whole lot of cash there. And I had a few of my own businesses, but I was always doing kind of like the sales aspect of those things. And then I just fell into doing that for other people, doing the back ends for people. And it's just been something that I've been getting better and better at, and I really enjoy doing it. So I've had the opportunity to work with Empower Network here, as well as other various things with Rob Ramone, who some of you guys may know as well on other projects and, you know, my own businesses as well and all that. So that's kind of my background. Now I'm here with you live on this call with Mr. Dave Wood, who's back.
Yeah, sorry. I actually had to pee real quick, but you know, most people, they keep that a secret and say they're doing something else.
Dude, I'm impressed you went that fast.
It's ultra fast, man. Our bladders are like this big in our family. So ask Will, he does that too. So in any case, though, I want to talk about a couple of things because we were talking the other week about how you sell, and I've seen what you do and how good you are. And you're good, like you can work with people on the phone like I can, which is what I like. And I know that what we're going to do is we're actually going to recruit really good salespeople, guys. And we already have compliance processes internally for it, monitoring systems, and systems in place to make sure that it all stays ethical. But if you could talk about a little bit like about your sales philosophy and how the process that you use when you're coaching with people. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about results and a couple of other things as well. But just talk to us a little bit about your sales process, how you work with people, and, you know, let people know who are here.
Yeah. So I just have a general, conversation with the person. You know, not everybody can be sold. That's one of the things. You got to figure out who you're talking to and what's going on. And really, I just have a conversation with them, figure out what they want to do, where they want to go, and just how I can help them get to that place. And that's one of the things we kind of teach too, is that, I teach my guys and how I do is give a lot of value on the front end on doing things, and then we help them get what they need. And one of the things that Dave was talking about is, we're ethical, we don't lie and everything like that, because unfortunately in sales room floors, they get the boiler room thing. Everyone's doing coke and all kinds of things and, closing deals and whatever, but they're lying, right? And my whole philosophy is that if you're good enough, you don't have to lie, right? And to me, you're a weak sales professional if you have to lie. You shouldn't need to do that, right? You should just know how to tell the truth and really know how to do things. And there's actually a whole sequence of how people are sold, right? And everybody is sold the same way. So one of the things is that you see a lot of gimmicks online with people saying, oh, this is the way that you get more sales or whatever, and people try to reinvent things. But we actually know now through neuroscience that there's a sequence of things that has to happen in your brain every single time you get sold. It's no different for me. Just because I'm in sales, I still get sold the same way. The same things have to trip off in my mind as anybody else's, and it's been that way for thousands of years, and it's going to stay that way. And I use that as well to do things as well. So that's how that works. Does that make sense?
You're honest. You find out what they need and want. You lead them through the process that they need to go through to buy and help them make a decision that's appropriate. And so you've worked with Rob, I know, over the last few years, and you've done you've led his sales teams and done like millions of dollars in sales together with the phone, you guys. Like, you guys, like, what's the most sales you guys have ever done in like, I don't know if you want to share this. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But like, what's your guys' biggest month that you've produced together on the phone with you and your teams? and what you guys have done?
Well,
Surprising.
we've got an NDA on one of them, so there you go. But
I know it's a lot. You've done a lot for us. So when you were working with us, you guys were doing like 50 to 80,000 a month on one affiliate position. So
yeah, it was more than that. Yeah.
With us, the biggest month. I know you guys did over 100 a couple of times, but
Yeah.
like, what did you guys get up to? Because we had a couple like $500,000 months just on that affiliate position.
Yeah, I think we got up to 3 months. You know, we only did it over 3 months, but in the third month we were up to like 320 or something like that.
Yeah. That's more than I thought.
So we went from
I remember it because I was getting the checks. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. And yeah, that's what happened.
So guys, let me explain. And so I wanted to bring him on. I like Kerry. He's got a good philosophy. He's ethical, and we've got pre-existing systems in place to monitor things to keep them compliant. And so what I want to do is I wanted to introduce you to him and give you guys a little bit of a unique opportunity who are involved in Empower Network, or maybe you've been in, give you a chance to re-engage. Because those of you who have been around, you know how powerful it can be when this is done right. The problem is it's never really done right. And what it could do is just a massive multiplication and simplification in your sales. And here's why it is. It's not because people can't learn to sell, and it's not because nobody can sell. It's because almost nobody in the population can sell right now. In other words, they have to learn how to sell over a period of time. It took me forever to learn to sell, Kerry. I don't know how long it took you. You know,
It took me a while. I didn't come out the gate doing good.
Still learning, and it's like still learning, and it's like this 7 years to really learn how to sell really good. And that's how long it took me. And so if you could give people tools to what they do is less complicated and more simple, they can make more money in a shorter period of time. And also, if you could bring your people in, and rather than just sending them to a video and kind of saying, what'd you like about it, which is not a good question, but you might not know that that's not a good question. Maybe you've never watched Top Producer Formula. The process will be to bring them in and then connect them into a single process, and then it'll connect them in. If they are sorted through and qualified for it, we'll connect them in to a coach. And Kerry will be leading that team and recruiting other really good people. And I have seen him do very wild things on the phone. So thank you for coming out. I appreciate you. I'll probably bring you out in just a minute. What I want to do is this, okay? And so we've got this week, and let me tell you what the process is going to be. And then I want to talk to you about what between now and this next week. And by the way, I just want everyone here to know that is going to be the last high-tech broadcast I'm going to try for a while, because I'm just done trying. Like today, it was like everything's working, and then all of a sudden, you know, we had it shorted out the power in my house, and then the power went off in half the house, and then it broke one of the equipment pieces, but it was working before that. So it was like something always happens when the more fancy stuff I try to hook up. I'm finding it's just cool paying us. You guys are just cool. So let me talk about what we're going to be doing. Well, we were talking with the leaders the other week, and we were talking about making the process that we're bringing people through more simple and more easy to understand. Okay, and so at the same time we're doing that, I've been working on building out a process and testing things with Kerry and Rob with the intention of rolling it across all of our volume systemically, one piece at a time, making each piece efficient as we go. Because we've been doing things for a few months, building the systems of Empower to make it sure you can leverage more systems and it takes less time to make more money, and the money that you make is more stable when you make it, okay? That's really important to me, and to do that, we've got to be delivering, creating great products, making value. It's why I brought Travis Reggett back in to do products, why we're doing the stuff we're doing with merchant processing. We're doing a lot, just so you guys know. And that actually, the other week, Sarita hit me up on Facebook. She's like, hey, you should say hi to everybody. Are you okay? I was like, yeah, what do you mean? And I realized I hadn't talked to people in like 2 weeks because I've just been busy, right? And sometimes that happens and people think I'm not doing anything, but I'm actually just behind the scenes working on stuff. And so I put a video in the Facebook group. A lot of you liked that and sent me personal notes. And thank you for that, by the way. So let me talk about this process that we're going to be running people through. So first of all, the thing that we talked about and we decided is that, you know, we've had 2 back offices in Empower for a long time, and we all just think it's stupid, to have 2 back offices. The reason we did it made sense, and now that we've done it and it's been there for a while, it's just stupid to have 2 back offices. So I've been just waiting for the right time to hack off that extra back office so we only have 1 members area again, because it's a million times more simple, even though the links are kind of the same, right? And so we're going to eliminate the extra back office, so just 1 simple back office, right? And the other thing that we were talking through is we were talking about how to make the training process when we're bringing people in more simple, work better, be more efficient, and help you guys get more sales. And so what we decided to do, number 2, is to reduce the acceleration training to a single video rather than 3, and to teach people what to do when they start in that video in less than an hour, right? And so what we're doing is the acceleration process is going to be replaced, okay, in our one back office, and it'll be a less than 1 hour video that will walk people through a handful of things. Number 1, it'll introduce them to the vision, because that's really important, especially with new people. More grassroots, heart-based stuff is better, in my opinion. Okay. Number 2 thing it's going to do is it's going to help them set outcomes and goals with their income. They're going to be really specific. Number 3 thing that it's going to do is it's going to show them exactly what to do, because what to do here at Empower, I'm going to say what to do in Empower every day, right? Every week and every quarter, right? Because that's really important. And it's not hard to explain because of our daily shortcut, right? If you just show people how to do it, it's like in less than 10 minutes, somebody knows what to do every day. And all of a sudden, right, it's like everything that we do like becomes 1,000,000 times more easy to do, okay? So this is the next thing that it's gonna show you how to do, show you exactly what it is that we do every day, every week, every quarter. And then I'm gonna come on, I'm gonna show you how to make money, right? And this is important as well, because if you want, to help a new person, it's like people come in and we don't explain to them how our business model works. And so then they get surprised, right? And it really is actually really simple to explain, especially now. So I'm going to map out to them how to hit the regular income goals people set, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month, very simply with the product line that we have. I'll map out some of what I just described, but in a short fashion. Okay, we're going to show them how to make money with our system. And then we're going to show them and give them a call to action on what to do next, right? And what to do next is actually going to be just broken down into 4 very, very easy steps. And here's what they are. And this is how it's going to connect into the process. And then I want to explain this and show you how it's going to go. Number 1 thing, right, that we're going to have, and this will be on the page, is they'll say, watch the video, watch the acceleration video. We'll have that as the first step. Number 2 thing is it'll say something along the lines of book your 6-figure coaching appointment, right? Because the video will actually pre-frame this in this process, right? We're going to introduce Carrie. We're going to pre-frame how our process actually works, how we can actually help them reach their goals. And so after they're pre-framed, we're going to book them into an appointment with that, right? And there's going to be a little bit of a filtration process where people that shouldn't really be talking to salespeople, they should be talking to somebody in customer service. We'll get them over to customer service, and we'll do that through the application we're bringing people in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have them activate the Momentum product. You guys will see how that'll flow together really easily in that video. I actually explained it a little bit today. And then number 4 will be complete the first daily shortcut, right? And here's why, right? It's because right now what we're doing, what we really want is we want somebody to start and in an hour be into action that can actually produce sales. Right now, the daily shortcut process, it works, and people get sales who do it every day, right? But we don't really clearly show people exactly how to do each one of those steps. So in the acceleration video, we're actually going to show them what to do, and then from that, we're going to show them how to make money, right? And we're going to show them what to do with new people. So this is basically going to be all that's in there. But when we get them in this, here's what's going to happen is we're going to get your people on the phone with a trained professional sales team, right? And they're going to get on, find out what their goals and needs are that are appropriate to them, and help them make decisions that are appropriate to them for the people that can upgrade right on the spot. So Kerry will be leading that, and he's good. There's not a long process with him. He gets on the phone and he just closes people. And they like it, and they like him, and they like working with him, right? So how do you fit in, and then what else are we doing? Well, let me show you how this is going to work. And then I'm going to give you guys a call to action. Vanessa, you can actually put the links on the page now. But I'm going to give you guys a call to action. Those of you who want to come in and you want to get ready to have a big year next year, I want to offer something special to you inside the community. And this is only going to last between now and next week. So pay attention, because this is actually limited. And he can't take actually everybody. And so there's going to be links below. And I'll explain what this means in just a second, right? But here's basically what else we have going on. So this is what we actually have happening, how new people are going to start. 1,000,000 times more simple. It's 1,000,000 times easier to explain. They'll understand what to do every day. they'll be plugged into the Next Level Mastermind on Tuesdays every week and know what our schedule is. They'll be introduced to Will. They'll be introduced to me. They'll be introduced to the Legacy Mastermind. They'll get introduced to Carrie. They'll get introduced to the staff, feel good about the company, feel good about the vision, and be pre-framed and know what we offer, how much it costs, right when they come in under an hour. Right? Best thing ever for us, right? But also we'll be explaining, even if they don't upgrade, if they don't want to buy more stuff, we'll be showing them, here's what you do every day and how simple it is. Let me actually show you, let me do all the steps in like 5 minutes. And we're actually gonna show you through each one of doing those steps that are in the Fast Start training. And we'll have a way, it's simple, right? This is my point. I don't want to ramble on more about something simple. I have a tendency to ramble. So here's what else we're doing. What we're doing at the same time over here, and let me go over and just talk about like future stuff, but actually this stuff is also starting at the same time, but this is also going to be rolling across in phases, right? Because we want to build everything we build to scale. So what we're also doing at the same time is we're going to start with a small segment of the members that are coming in, and we're going to have customer service. Also, they're going to be connecting with new members. We're going to be starting new member welcome calls again. But again, this will be at probably about a third of the members, then in January time rolling across all of them. So I want you guys to be aware in case not everyone gets called, okay? But it'll be in structured phases because as we're doing each part, we're gonna be building, if that makes sense. But what they're gonna be doing is they're gonna be doing welcome calls, right? And in the welcome calls, they're going to be connecting people into this acceleration training, right? And making sure they understand what these steps are and making sure they go through all 4 of those steps. In addition to that, supporting the customer service department when new people are starting, we're also going to be making a much more simple Fast Start process in email when people are starting to move people into the 4 steps as well and make sure that they complete them in the first 24 hours. Because our goal is actually just to take new members and get them started through this in 24 hours. This is going to result in pre-framing them, and when people are pre-framed, they understand what it's for, and then they get on the phone with somebody who's good and who's connectable. I have seen Carrie do things like produce by himself $10,000 a day in sales. He's awesome. And he knows really good salespeople. So we're going to get him out there, get him tons of results, and he can utilize those results to go out there in his connected relationships and bring on a big sales team, because all the things I've been building have been building towards infrastructure in January, because that's when we're going to enter into a lot of growth really fast. Does it make sense to all of you? So this is all actually happening when? It's going to be happening December 12th, all right? So where does that fit in with you? Well, we know we have a lot of people in the community, right? And you've been kind of like watching, you've been hanging out, you've seen the leaders, they've been sticking around. You've been seeing how we've been building processes out. Maybe some of it you don't understand, but we've been doing a lot of things over the last couple months to basically build a better vehicle to make money, right? And there's more, right? This is not the only things we're doing, right? These are just the simplification of how we are putting things together to help you as the affiliates empower to create money and have a lifestyle at the same time with leverage, okay? There's a lot more here coming this next year. And so how does this all fit together? Well, what it fits together in is this has all been building together because now, for example, you can earn about twice as much as you can earn bringing people in. We increase the commissions. We put a higher ticket back end on in Empower now, so you can actually earn like 1 commission at the highest package is like $4,000, and that's not including the rest. You put it together, it's like $6,500 in commissions, like from 1 customer that you can earn. And so we've been building systems to be able to produce those sales for you. So here's what I'm going to give you the chance to do. Those of you who are not all in, I want to give you the opportunity to go through that process. Okay. So if you're in Empower Network, there's actually 2 links right below this page. Now keep in mind, this is one guy, right? And this is your opportunity to connect with them and also upgrade this week, okay? And so if you want to upgrade and you really want to position yourself with us, what I'm going to be doing is building an affiliate team to go out in 2017. And my goal in 2017 is within the 6-month mark of the year, I want this sales team to be doing $5 million a month in sales. And I believe they can do that because I know what they've done on a small scale. And what that's going to mean to those of you who make a decision is you can position yourself right to be a part of a small mentoring group, to work with us on a more intimate level as the leadership here at Empower Network, and to connect into this process and experience it yourself and have the opportunity to go out there with us and create some massive results this next year, okay? So one of those links is an opportunity to do that, and you have to be a member, you have to log in, Okay, and what you're going to do is really simple. If you just click the link, this is before this process comes out. We'll be rolling this across the volume next week. Click on the link, okay, and all you do, there's a video. Watch the video with me and Carrie, okay. Click a button, fill out an application, and you'll be put into a sequence, and we'll look at the application, and after we look at it, we'll send you out an invitation link to book an appointment with him and talk to him on the phone. I'm only going to ask a couple things because we were talking about this the other week, and I was like, you know, how much can you handle? And he's like, well, about this. And I said, okay, all right. So I'll pre-frame people. Look, Carrie has worked with me to do hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in sales. He's done millions of dollars in sales with his sales teams. And I don't want people just talking to him to say hello, okay? And so I actually want, if you guys really want to run with us and you really want to connect into us, okay, he'll be pre-screening people, and we're going to be opening up mentoring groups across the Empower Network for those of you that qualify. I want you to click the link, just fill in the application, okay? And if you're serious about making 6 or 7 figures in 2017 through 2018, that's who should be clicking on that link. Those of you who you've been sitting here and you've been like, you know what, it's my time and I really want to win, right? I really want to do something big. I really want to create a big vision. I want to live on the beaches of the world. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to buy the things for my wife or buy the things for my husband that I want to buy, right? I want to be able to go out there and create magic in the world. This is an opportunity for you to lock yourself in, to position yourself, and also to connect in with who's going to be leading the sales team. So if that's you, click the button below this video, log in, fill out the application, and then we'll look at it, and then we'll email you out the link. And that's obviously going to be limited, guys. Not everybody's going to have the opportunity to do that. Now, the second link, obviously, is if you're not in, or if you've been out for years. There's a link to join for $1. If you click on that link, you can join for $1, right? That'll bring you in at the Elite package, and then you'll be able to log in, so you can click on the application link, and you can log in. I want you to see the sales process. And here's where I'm going to end this, this is actually really simple. So what are we doing is, well, on 12, which is next week, we've actually been working on building, over the last month, we've been working on building a CRM so we can actually scale this, because everything we're building is built to scale, also built to go international. And when the time's right, we've been building a CRM for them, and so they can track sales and things like this and keep track of results. And so that, on the 12th, we're going to be launching the CRM for the sales team, so we have the ability to scale it. And we're also going to be releasing the new acceleration training that is actually an acceleration, because it's shortening, you know, the training for a new person by 2 hours, but also giving them tons more how-to and specific information that will help them very quickly get into results, and also connecting them into somebody who's professional. Does that make sense? So this is happening next week. So that gives you a chance to lock yourself in early, because then we're going to go out there, we're going to create a big storm, bunch of other things coming on product, and we'll have some announcements for you guys this week on product enhancements, product fulfillment with Momentum and VIP. And you guys are going to see how this is going to flow together next week and how it's going to get you results. And you'll already know how you can make 6 figures next year. And it'll be really simple for you. So those of you who want to do that, who want to make 6 figures in 2016, this is your opportunity right now. Click on the link. Okay, log in, go fill out the application, and we want to invite you to do that. So that being said, guys, this page will be up as an invitation to existing affiliates. We'll actually just have the replay on, so it'll just play all the time. We'll have this from now until the 12th, okay? And I'll have some special things for those of you who get on the phone, who upgrade, and Carrie will talk to you about that through the week, those of you who want to lock yourselves in. Congratulations, guys. I just want to tell you I love all of you. Let me just hear on the page, right? Did it make sense to everybody? Is there no button? I think you guys, you need to refresh it. They say there's no button here. Oh, guys, refresh the screen. Vanessa, if you could just say refresh the screen, right? And it's right below the video. And if you just click that, you'll have to log in, and you can do that and fill out that application there. And again, not a member yet, just click the link to join for $1. Guys, thank you. I don't know if anybody else has got everything, or we just let everybody go. Those of you who know who you are, click on the link, and we'll look forward to connecting you in. And any of the leaders got final thoughts, anything? I'm good with just ending it. I always have clumsy endings for stuff. So with that, Vanessa, let's turn off the live stream.